I'm saying it's the same idea because a whatchamacallit, I'm trying to think.
I know you're trying to think.
No, like.
So I would
If
like
they-
you guys to know that I have over 3,000 bookmarks now.
How did you find anything?
Very careful categorization.
But for the record, like 5th tier magic, that's the kind of stuff that brings meteors from the skies. Obviously, I know that's not on the same level as a fake Holy Grail. I'm just saying, like, 5th tier magic is no slack.
Yeah. Alright, let's see. You guys know Game of Thrones, right?
I read the books a while ago.
Oh, good. So you'll hate this.
I mean, I don't know shit about it. Did we roll into the did we roll into the intro?
Yeah, I'm just getting everything set. I mean, we're still just streaming just for the sake of actually having, like, something going on.
Something.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, cause alright, I was just curious. But
Oh, so we are streaming.
Yeah, we're streaming. It's
we're
just, you know.
We've been live this whole rambling time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Since when?
Since
probably
4 minutes ago. Yeah, around 4 minutes.
Oh, that's
ago.
not too bad.
Hello,
No,
Internet! This is your favorite podcaster for fanfiction tropes and shit. I limit myself to a very small category, so therefore I'm clearly the favorite podcaster of this section. So, this is Fanfiction.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we're one of the only ones, so it's not
we are the only fanfiction podcast. There's quite a few fanfiction shows out there that'll concentrate on like one story, or they'll play a game while they're reading the story. It has something to do with it. But no, we are the only ones that do
I'm playing games the entire time. But that's
yeah, but it's like if you're reading a Harry Potter story, they're playing like a Harry Potter game. On screen.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
I play games that take no effort.
But
Cool.
anyway, so this is Fanfiction Contempt 9003! With me, SneakyDevil, Max Force and Atin here. I actually can say as always now, because you guys are fairly good about showing up these days. Unlike those early days.
Alright, no, hold up a minute. Even in the early days, I was
hang on. In the early days, I was with family when you guys started this. I've consistently only missed Fridays because I had a schedule before this started, and I was almost always here before you. You shut your fucking mouth.
You can try and twist the narrative all you want, CNN.
Look, I've just been taking lessons from my favorite fanfiction authors we feature here every night.
Actually, I think Isley has been more consistent than you in showing up.
That would indeed be an accurate statement. And really, guys, as soon as we get a budget, the first thing we're doing is we're gonna actually give Isley money.
We're gonna give Isley, let me pull up the payment section. It looks like Isley is owed 5 cents. C8 is 10 cents, and then oh yes, Isley also gets 25 cents from Atin's pay.
Did you give her that yet?
No. The transaction minimum on PayPal is 32 cents because that's how much they take from you to do the transaction.
Oh. So she still wouldn't get anything. Wait, how? Wait, no, I've sent money without having any transaction. What did you do to piss off PayPal? Wait, are you not sending it as gifts?
Oh.
Oh, Jesus Christ, have you been actually paying people? You're aware that that can show up on their taxes, right? If they dig a little more? Don't fucking sip and ignore me.
You fucking moron.
Have you been fucking up payments this entire time?
Anyway, so now this was a story that was originally recommended to me by Zexel's program Flipper, but well,
Oh no.
mm,
I don't like where this is going already.
Harry Potter Game of Thrones crossover, the true Winter King. At King's Cross Station, Harry makes a choice to seize control of his own destiny. He never suspected he would be stuck in a medieval magical world where a dangerous game would be played. The Black Wolf and the Winter King has arrived. The Black Wolf and the Winter King has arrived. Off to a great start, Arthur. All will kneel before him or burn in fire. Harry times the narrative.
I'm already annoyed.
Daenerys? Is it Daenerys?
Dragon Girl. Yeah, the one that tames dragons.
She has not one, not two, but 3 dragons, and she somehow put off conquering the entire fucking planet for 7 books.
Well, hey, you know, sometimes these things take time.
Well, I mean, good thing.
You have not one, not 2, but 3 dragons.
I'm gonna go trigger you a little bit more, Atin. Isn't it a good thing that she now has all those raping cannibals that no longer rape or cannibal as her army?
No, I already knew about that.
I know, but I just find it so freaking dumb where they're raping cannibals before she comes across them, and then after she turns them into her
Wait,
army, they stop being
raping cannibals?
Yeah.
Who?
Her army.
Which? Because there are. She has the horse people who did some raping, but they weren't cannibals.
Maybe.
She had the unit, and then she got the eunuchs, but they're eunuchs, not cannibals.
No,
And
it was
by
basically the
virtue
equivalent
of
of the
being a
Norse.
eunuch, they can't really do much raping.
No, it was like the equivalent of the Norse or whatever in the show, not the books.
No, I stopped like at season 3, and I know that for season whatever, the most recent one, they veered, they had to go into literal fanfiction territory because they were further ahead in the books. Yeah, no, I'm ignoring all of that.
Yeah, no, like I was talking about the Game of
I
Thrones.
barely care about the books anymore. I definitely don't care about the show.
Yeah, no, it's like it's really unfortunate how Mary Sue and like Rip, like even Rick and Morty made fun of the writing for season 7 of Game of Thrones.
Yikes.
Like you know how like when an animator or a voice actor dies in a cartoon, and like they have like that whole it goes to black and it's like rest in peace, blah blah blah. They did that for one Rick and Morty episode. At the end of the episode, it said "Rest in peace, Game of Thrones season 7 writing team."
Ooh. Oh.
And it was just like, ooh.
That's
Rick and Morty
mean.
with the spicy insults.
That's mean.
That's some clapback. Anyway. So I can choose where to go, Harry said as he stares at the path. That has always been up to you, Harry, Dumbledore said as he stands behind. Harry.
Wait, is he standing behind Ron or Hermione? I can't be sure.
Well, I don't know. For some reason, there's a fucking comma there. What if I don't want to? Harry said. He turns back to Dumbledore. Wait, he turns back to stare Dumbledore in the eye. There we go. You cannot be serious enough to let Voldemort win. You know what you have to do, Dumbledore said in his grandfatherly voice. Yes, I do, and that's the problem, Dumbledore. Harry stares into Dumbledore's blue eyes. Because I was a Gryffindor, you understood how I thought. Because I craved affection and wanted to be loved. By the way, this is the Voldemort shoots an AK at Harry scene in the 7th book.
Oh, yes.
Where he meets Dumbledore in the...
totally happened.
Yeah. Apparently, this Harry decided to go completely off script. Because I craved...
Harry Potter! I can't pretend to do a voice.
Did you put your name in the goblet of fire? Alright, so, an AK, Avada Kedavra. In Harry Potter, in the 7th book, Harry Potter goes up to Voldemort, goes, "Lol, Voldemort, you can't kill me," and then Voldemort shoots him with the instant kill spell, and actually doesn't kill Harry Potter, because actually he killed the fragment of his soul that he put in Harry Potter, because actually this was Dumbledore's plan all along. After he had his double, triple, quadruple crosser kill him to pretend that he was actually on Voldemort's side, after pretending he was on Dumbledore's side, after pretending being on Voldemort's side, after being on Dumbledore's side the real whole time.
Yes,
And
of course. How
people
could I
say
not
J.K.
have...
Rowling is a great author. Anyway. Use that against me. It makes sense to me now as to why Molly Weasley was at the King's Cross that day. Is that why you wanted Ron to stay near me to keep an eye on me? Harry asked. Dumbledore said nothing. He had...
Or it's possible he wanted your friends to keep an eye on you because he knew there was a murderous hobo out there who wanted... Look, I'm not the hugest fan of Dumbledore, but I do want to, it's not like he did a bunch of stuff that was totally stupid. You know what? I'm gonna put it out there. Ozpin could learn if you think about being a manipulative, creepy
Hi,
old man.
Shoda.
Oh, the Shoda's here.
Oh boy.
Yes, Nexus. That would have been a great scene. You can't kill me, Voldemort! Voldemort takes out an AK-47. Eat shit, Harry Potter!
I would have an active interest in watching all of the movies if that happened. Like, if you could guarantee that scene,
Prophesize
sign me up. Anyway. He, for a brief moment, looked completely stunned. Harry continues. I may not be academically smart as Hermione, but I am as smart as Dumbledore. Wait, I am smart Dumbledore. There was no comma there. I grew up in an abusive home, Dumbledore. Also no comma there. The first rule that I learned in order to survive was to watch everything around you. During my time at Hogwarts, I had forgotten this rule. Miraculously, it's almost like you weren't actually abused. You don't forget PTSD. Just throwing that out there, author.
That's not how it be working, lad.
And let my emotions get the better of me. But now, I can once again see and think clearly. All this time, you have moved me around like I was a chess piece, a pawn in your dirty games. And Voldemort, too, was playing, trying to scheme his way to end my life. All the while you were scheming in your own way to make me your golden boy. I see the truth now, though I fear it is too late. You moved me as a shield between Voldemort and the wizarding world, but you molded Ron as a dagger to strike me in the back should the moment come to kill me, to prevent me from becoming a Dark Lord.
Hold on a minute. Ron Weasley. When did Ron acquire 17 levels in Rogue? That's my question. Because at no point is Ron capable of stabbing anyone in the back, or even really being moderately competent.
Damn it, Ivory. That is why you sent him to me. Someone who was stupid enough to believe anything coming from the mouth of Albus fucking Dumbledore. You played him like the fool he was. Harry, you don't know the truth. I wanted the Weasley family to protect you, not destroy you. I'm just
Then
kidding.
why did you give them all books How to Kill Harry Potter,
I-
steps 17 through 54?
I'm just kidding on that one. That would have made
I
a
know.
way better
I
scene, though.
Oh,
I
it
wanted the
would've.
Weasley family to protect you, the many dark families that sought to end you. Harry cuts himself before he can continue. Spare me your lies, Dumbledore. I see straight through you. You're not the only game master here now. I, too, can move things. Granted, it took me a year to start moving them, but I started moving them all the same. Even if I died now, the curse that I placed upon myself will have killed my attacker as well. Even if the remaining Death Eaters attacked, they would still lose. For I, Harry Potter, world genius, have rediscovered my mother's charm and have cast it upon me. So the Hogwarts defenders will have the fighting chance that they deserve. I have done more for the war against Voldemort than you ever have. And I am done with this world, sick and tired of being your golden boy who does what he is told, but also from the sheep of the magical world. They praise me one moment and then curse me in their same breaths. How long before they once again label me as a Dark Lord, and how long before I snap? I guess right now, actually.
Yeah. Generally, when people start going, I'm a Dark Lord, you have to be careful of when I snap. That's generally when you start looking for an execution.
Hello, Bakey Boy. Contrary to popular belief, I also have a limit. I have suffered enough. My future is my own from now on. Wait, what the fuck? My future is my own from now, and I will decide the best course of action for it. I couldn't choose how I lived, but I will decide how I die. You don't know what you're doing, Harry. Please, stop this. You do this and
then Harry pulled out C4 and ended everyone and everything.
I have discovered the will you forged for my death. Planning on giving everything of mine to the Weasleys, were you? Too bad I have killed them all. No, I'm just kidding. Too bad I have wrote a new will, and too bad that my gold will not be given to your puppets. From this moment onwards, I will be my own man, and anyone...
Okay, look, I don't care how dirt poor you make the Weasleys, no amount of money would get Ron to stab his best friend in the back.
Also, for some reason, for some bewildering reason, the author is writing this scene as if Dumbledore is somehow still alive, and it's not the crossroads of life and death. But it is that scene. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with the... I think the author at some point, with all the edge Harry Potter is spouting, forgot that Dumbledore and Harry are both dead, because they're both talking like they'll just, like, exit this conversation and come back to life. From this moment onwards, I will be my own man, and anyone who has a problem with it can fuck themselves, Harry declared with a smirk. Harry, Dumbledore began. Tell me, Dumbledore, why shouldn't I be free and live my life the... Wait, what the fuck? And live the life I want to live. I never wanted any of this, but you knew what I wanted in the first place. That's
Maybe
how
don't
you were
do that
able
voice
to
since you
take
already have enough
advantage.
problems with your lungs hating you.
Fuck you. Advantage of me in the first place. Harry snarled with the fury burning in his eyes.
Alright, but when you fucking choke to death, it's not our fucking fault.
Nothing I say will change your mind, Dumbledore said slowly. Good. Then you are beginning to understand the position in which you have found yourself in. What?
Harry, you have no bargaining power. You already said that you're going to ensure Voldemort
What?
dies. He's still getting what he wants.
What?
You just told him that he's gonna get what he wants. You're
What?
acting like you've got some bargaining power. You don't.
What?
Like, at least in the stupid edgelord stories where Harry goes, listen here, I'll kill Voldemort for you, but we're gonna do things my way, and you're gonna do things the way I want, and I'm gonna get a bunch of... That one makes sense, because he hasn't killed Voldemort yet.
Like, no, but like, they're both dead. This is the Death Realm. They're dead. Voldemort has killed Harry, which, according to Harry, has killed Voldemort and a majority of his supporters.
Yes.
At what point in time was this a bargaining thing? Like, Dumbledore, you won't get any options. It's like, Dumbledore...
I've already ensured you have everything you want, and I'm already dead.
It's like, Dumbledore was literally here to convince you to go back to living. That's literally what that scene was about. And then you, author, turned it into, haha, Dumbledore, I have seen through your manipulations and I won't do what you want, for I have already killed Voldemort, and I am choosing to die forever. What? You can't stop me, Dumbledore! I won't be manipulated by you anymore!
Like, at this point
What?
in time, with the supposedly evil Dumbledore, the most terrifying thing for Dumbledore should be Harry going, I'm going right back to the world of the living, and I'm telling everybody what you did, and how you're a manipulative person, and how you don't deserve a shiny statue.
I will make you a statue, Dumbledore, out of piss.
Harry, that's not possible, unless you use a lot of ice, and you'll be working at that for a while.
Well, I mean, magic, so, I mean, he literally could just, like, do some water freeze spell or some shit, and just...
Okay, but he still needs a lot of piss, is my point, Sneaky.
I mean, yeah.
To make a statue, you need a lot of water to make an ice sculpture.
You can't kill me, for I am already dead! Yeah, basically. I cannot stop you.
It's just a flesh wound?
I can only say, I wish I had done better. Well, I'm gonna add the, edgelord banner. Yeah, there we go. Don't we all? But it's not what we wish for, but what we do that defines us. All I see before me is a desperate old man, trying to convince me because it's so damn hard for him to see his plan fall apart. Harry mocked with a smug smile. Wait. His plan fall apart? You have saved the day, killed the Voldemort. What part of this plan of his is falling apart? The part where you come back to life?
The part where he had a plan to make sure you got at least somewhat of a happy ending? Like, for as much of a dick as Voldemort is, he was fully prepared. Like, okay, you killed Voldemort. Do whatever you want now.
No, you can't tell me. Oh my god, this is literally the meme where someone says, good luck, have fun in a video game, and you tell them, you can't tell me what to do.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is literally that meme, but seriously taken and written out. I see it. Dumbledore gives a small smile and says, perhaps I always knew my plan would fail. However, if you don't go back to life, Harry, then you will go forward into an uncertain world. Even I cannot tell you where you'll end up, Harry. You will have to make new friends, but in the process you will make new enemies. This might not be what you wanted, old man, but it's something I want. Always have and still do. I'm sure I'll just be fine. Many challenges will await you, Harry. I once told you we all must take the choice of doing what's right and doing what's easy. The same is true between the lines of good and evil. You can't be perfect, Harry. You can only do your best to make things right. Sometimes it takes doing terrible things to do great things. Just don't let it consume you. I never did let my negative emotions consume me, old man. I have lived for 17 years as a prisoner, as a servant and a slave. Those years could not break me. Do you think you will break me? I have come too far to give up, Harry said with a faraway look in his eye. Without looking back at Dumbledore, he walks towards the light and waits for his beginning of a new adventure. I'm gonna kill myself, old man! No, please, Harry, you have so much to live for. Fuck you, old man! I know you wrote a will for my death! No, Harry, what are you talking about? I didn't do that. I have already planned things in place. Harry, what are you doing? I'm gonna die! No, Harry, I can't recommend you do that. Like, you can literally go back to your life right now. You have friends and family. No, I will kill myself! Alright, fine. Ha! I have foiled your plan, old man! Yeah, sure, you really got me, Harry. That is this conversation in a nutshell.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? Like, based on the way that they're having Dumbledore act, the author knows this is, like, dumb. Or on some level, at least, is like, this is ridiculous. Dumbledore's trying to help him. But they're still having Harry be a creepy little edgelord.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Like, if they wanted Harry to go into the new world, just be like, no, I'm sorry, Dumbledore, I can't go back. But why not, Harry? You have friends and family there. Oh, there's too many bad memories, or something, something, something. I just really want to try again. Oh, alright, Harry. Well, I wish you the best of luck on your new adventures, for I know not what you may encounter. Thank you, Dumbledore. I appreciate all the time you spent with me. Goodbye, Harry. Goodbye, Dumbledore. Look, same result, but without any of the edge!
Or even if you wanted to keep all of the edge, you could have him go, I'm not going back to the life you engineered for me, it's tainted or something. Like, if you wanted to keep the angry edge, you could. But you could do it in a much better way.
Like, I don't even know how to respond to this spec, honestly. Cold. That is what Harry Potter felt as he wakes up with a gasp of surprise. He coughs as icy air fills his lungs suddenly. He controls it. Also, by the way, I love how Harry dies and goes on to his next great adventure as Harry Potter, the 18-year-old. He literally isekais into the Game of Thrones first.
That's really unlucky.
He controls his breathing after some time of adjusting to the sensation of waking. He straightens up against a lone tree and looks around. Snow was everywhere. As far as he could see, all was white. It was hard to find anything that was covered, not covered, in snowy blanket. What?
Alright, that sounds like an editing fuck up.
Harry's robes may have had some enchantments on them, but he was still freezing. He spotted several trees not far from his position and decided to head there to seek better shelter. The walk through the snow was terrible, and he was still mentally exhausted due to the battle and the conversation he had with Dumbledore.
What? Conversation? You told him, you spent the entire time going, fuck you, old man.
You literally spent the entire time frothing at the mouth, and then killed yourself. The howling winds of winter. The howling winds of winter were pushing against him, causing him to hold his chest with his arms, as it hurt to breathe. His arms were freezing faster than his legs, and he was slowly but steadily losing his remaining heat. Can't you cast magic? Still, he pushed forward, wading through the thick snow till he reached the trees. Harry pops himself against the biggest tree he could find and tries to find what he had on him. Harry couldn't help but shiver as his bare skin was touched by the winter wind. Oh, bitch, please, it's only 20 degrees out, quit your whining. He could see his breath in the icy weather. He quickly throws on his thick robes and could feel his body warming up already. Wait, where did he get robes? What? We're just... what? Where did these robes come from? Oh, the female dragonborn times male alderman that's a human fic, it's called Dragon Rend. It's really good.
I'm sorry, what?
Alright, so the premise of this Skyrim fic is female dragonborn learns the Dragon Rend shout. And, the Dragon Rend shout works a little bit different in this world. The idea behind the meaning of the Dragon Rend shout is that you are imparting upon the dragon you are shouting this at the concept of mortality.
Right.
And for whatever reason, that concept of mortality goes a bit farther in this story and literally makes Alduin a mortal human.
Interesting twist.
And then you're like, well, why doesn't she just kill him then? Well, she tries to. And it turns out whenever the male Alduin is hurt, she is hurt because their souls are now connected because she is imparting the concept of mortality onto his.
Huh.
And
So she can't kill him.
Yes, and so majority of the story is her watching over him to make sure he doesn't get hurt, because if he gets hurt, she gets hurt. And on top of that, she's trying to find a way to turn him back, and he wants to also be turned back, because obviously he doesn't want to be a squishy mortal. But she wants to turn him back so she can kill him. He wants to turn him back so he can kill her still. It's actually a really well-written story.
Because they're being forced to work together even though they hate each other's guts.
Yes. And, you know, they go through Dawnstar, they go through Murak. It was really good. Very good story. Ha! Burn, you Brazilian, burn!
What? No, don't burn Brazil. Brazil's full of perfectly nice people.
BR. Well, it is true, they did stop coming to the American servers. AC is expensive. I guess in Brazil it might be. All I have to do to cool my room is open a window, because it's 7 degrees out.
Good
A
old
cooling
7
system.
degrees.
You mean opening my window? Computer cooling system? You mean opening my window?
So, any fans of Harry Potter, you might want to cover your ears here and just jab your eyes out too, I guess. He quickly throws on his robe. Blah, blah, blah. He looks at his right ring finger to see the ring of resurrection stone. The ring of resurrection stone. He reaches
You heard
inside.
the author.
He reaches inside his robes, and to his delight, the invisibility cloak was there for some reason. He pulls it out and throws it over himself. For some reason. A piece of parchment falls out of the cloak, and Harry looks down and realizes it's the Marauders map. Wow, that's convenient. Harry picks it up and unfolds it. He wonders how the Marauders map ended up here. Last he remembered, he gave it to Ron and Hermione. He began searching for a wand and found one laying in the snow next to him. Convenient. He picks it up and
For someone who's
realizes
been isekai'd, he's really starting with a stacked deck.
It's the super powerful Elder Wand. He took no mind of it, though, as he pointed the Elder Wand at the map and says the magic words, "I solemnly swear I'm up to no good." Nothing happened. Nothing appeared on the map, which was not totally unexpected. The Elder Wand, though. Harry wonders how he ended up with it when Voldemort had it with him last time he saw it. But then again, Voldemort wasn't the master of the Elder Wand. Harry was. Somehow, the Elder Wand came to him, or followed him here, wherever here is. Harry paused as a thought came to him, and he slowly placed his hand in his left robe pocket. And there, he could feel it with his magic, but he couldn't believe it. He knew what it was without even looking at it. It was the Resurrection Stone! Yeah. Remember how he has the Resurrection Stone on his finger already? Well, he found a second one! In his pocket! Wait for it, Bake! Wait for it! Harry stares at the stone, at the engraved symbol of the Deathly Hallows that the Purvells took as their own. He could only assume as the so-called Master of Death, the Deathly Hallows would now follow him, no matter where he went or what he tried. He put the ring on his ring finger, and again looked at the Elder Wand. Oh, I guess he has 2 rings of Resurrection Stone now. He points it at the map and once again said, "I solemnly swear I'm up to no good," as in the knowledge.
Interesting.
This time it worked. Black and blue lines began to move like ink on the parchment. Nothing unusual, only this time it was a map of the entirety of Game of Thrones.
Not how any of that works.
And he could see several names with the last name of Stark walking around in a giant castle.
Okay, can I just point out that because of the now I know the author isn't clever enough to utilize this, but Harry Potter literally just became the most valuable strategist in the entirety of Westeros.
Yes.
Oh, I know exactly where the Stark army is because I know exactly where Ned and Eddard and all the rest of them are. Who needs the Red Wedding when you can tell the Targaryens, hey, they're camped over here? And probably the most aggravating thing about it is that I know the author's not smart enough to do that.
Good morning, Calvin. Guten Morgen. Harry points his wand at the map and the ink quickly disappears, and folds it and packs it back into his pouch he suddenly has. Harry searched his bag once again. He needed food and water at the moment. He hadn't eaten anything since dinner the other night, and decided that starving to death was not the way he wanted to leave the land of the living. He still had water, but that wouldn't do much good if he didn't get any nutrition soon.
Okay, A, water's the single most important thing, and B, too bad you're not a cleric from D&D. Because that would never be that's never a problem for them.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh no! I'm stuck! I'm going to starve to death in the wilderness! Cleric looks at spell list. Create water.
Anyway, let's keep going. Alright, so blah 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 blah, he's wandering around. He was a good prey, and he knew where good prey gathers, so do predator. Harry never learned Muggle hunt. Food production was high, so hunt wasn't needed. Hagrid didn't teach him how to use crossbow. His arm was good after throw spells around for long. Too bad he didn't have a crossbow. His wand maybe, but he never hunted with his wand.
Okay,
You
A,
point the
not how
wand
any
at
of
the
that works.
creature.
B, you can just find a bird and chuck a stunner at it. Congratulations, you've
Yeah, I know, right? I've never hunted with a wand before. Stunner.
Or if you're really lazy, Avada Kedavra it.
Actually, honestly,
Congratulations.
like that would be the best way to do it. To be honest, instant death doesn't hurt the pelt. Damn it, Isaac. Anyway. Blah 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 blah. He can't turn back now. He wasn't sure if he even could. Darkness would fill the sky, and it would get so dangerous for Harry. And Harry wanted to be safe and sound inside a home with food.
You can
Because
just make
predators are
light.
active at night.
You can make invincible barriers that literally no one in this universe is capable of bypassing. Now, granted, while you don't know that, you do know that you can make 9 invincible barriers that 99% of the populace cannot.
Yeah. Well, Nexus, because that would be smart. Hey man, I feel really bad for the AFD. I'm just saying. Like, no one deserves to have a terror bombing on their HQ.
I'm sorry, what happened?
German party, AFD, basically, the only right-wing party. And even then, they're still pretty left. Because it's
Again,
Germany.
doesn't matter. Like, I don't care about the political affiliation. They
Yeah.
got terror bombed.
Yeah, they
No one
got terror
deserves that.
bombed. Yeah. That's not right. That's not right at all.
I don't care who you are or what your political affiliation is. No one deserves a bombing.
But yeah. Anyway, moving on. Blah blah blah. Harry began to recall how Americans in the northern frontier survived by making igloos.
It's a rock. The pioneers used to ride these babies for miles. No, seriously, what did the author just say?
Yeah. The Americans survived living in Canada by making igloos.
Not how
yeah.
any of that worked.
I mean, Calvin, speaking as someone with basic medical certification, any hit to the head can be potentially lethal, so...
I was going to say, and that's not even taking into account special conditions that
Oh, I
may or
mean,
may
like,
not be affecting
on top of the bombing, their leader, got attacked in the streets and knocked unconscious on the ground. He's bleeding across his head. It was actually fairly bloody affair. As far as I know, he's currently stable, but still, that could have been lethal. You know, when it comes to the head. It was not the leader, okay. But yeah, no, the high-class Brits. So yeah, one last politic before we go back to this story is, because this is actually important. The British elite, the politicians in Britain, the ruling politicians in Britain, have proposed a bill to make it illegal to call the government and the employees in the government fascists or Nazis.
Here in America, we call that a warning sign.
We call that fascism.
Because you know what? Thanks to, at least the way it should work in America, and Trump has certainly done some things to stifle this, it doesn't matter what your political affiliation is. If you think the government's a bunch of fascists, you can say it. As long as you stay within the bounds of libel and slander laws and don't actually say they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm pretty sure as long as someone says they
I
can
would
court,
say,
it's like,
even
why did you
then-
say this? I believed it
even
at the
then,
time.
Hyperbole laws are a wonderful protection, as they should.
Well,
Are
basically,
those a
you can
fucking-
get away
like, are
at...
those a thing?
Yeah, no, you can. Basically, you can get away with it as long as you aren't saying, you know, Steve Bannon told me that Trump is actually secretly a fascist in a secret interview I did with him. That would be completely
But
liable.
like for instance,
Hyperbole laws.
no. For instance, like the hyperbole law is like I can say Trump is as bad as Hitler.
Yeah.
Clearly, I don't mean that. Clearly, it's hyperbole, but it's allowable. Basically, under the purposes of rhetoric, it is allowable. Just like people could say that Hillary Clinton, whether or not it was true, they could say Hillary Clinton was as corrupt as Nixon. Regardless
Calvin,
of whether or
why
not
do
that
you
was
care?
true, you could say it under hyperbole laws. That's why people can get away with saying X group's Nazis when they're not.
But the libel and slander laws apply in a very specific set of circumstances with very specific sets of wording in very specific distributions of media.
And I know because I took law classes, and in business law classes, believe it or not, one of the things they cover pretty heavily is libel and slander.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. Like, how far can you go with, calling your competitor, a racist, sexist, son of a bitch?
Yeah. Well, and one of the things that they said is, like, you can, like, it's really, really hard to prosecute someone for libel or slander because you basically have to, you basically, the court case is you going through every single person. It's like playing telephone.
Yeah.
You have to find you go to the person that said it and you say, why'd you say this? Well, X said it to me. Then you go to X and you say, why'd you say it? X said it to me. And you basically have to go down the chain until you finally get to someone who no longer says X said it to me, and that's the person you get to nail.
Yeah, and it's just
Like,
not even worth
and at that point, you might be 200 people removed. I'm not even kidding.
Well, and then you have the other problem, which is what the current mass media does, is they go, oh, according to, if it's CNN, according to blank, blank is blank. And then you go to that publication, and they're like, well, according to ABC, and you go to ABC, and the ABC's like, well, according to CNN.
And then somewhere along the line, you go to Fox, and Fox is like, well, according to MSNBC
Or
whatever,
Breitbart,
right?
or whatever, yeah.
It doesn't matter who.
It basically
or
what I'm
side
saying
they're
is
on.
they just
Both
make
sides.
loops, and
Yeah.
technically speaking, by the fashion of the law, as long as the person you're quoting is not quoting you, then you can get away with it. But no, Calvin, we've never heard of Bill Zittung. But, I mean, Article 13 is your problem, not ours, so... Bye-bye, Europe!
Article 13? Is that the porn one?
No,
or...
Article 13 is the link tax.
That
That would require every company and person to pay a tax if they link anything to someone else.
Yeah, that thing. The thing that'll murder the internet.
Yeah, well, it won't murder the internet because all those services will just stop allowing Europe to access them.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, they're like, Google's already done that before to, like, Spain and shit, when Spain was trying to initiate, like, a news tax or some shit on Google. Like every single time Google hosted a Spanish newspaper, they had to pay Spain money, and so Google was just like, okay, well, Spain no longer has access to Google.
And unfortunately for the state of the world, coming closer and closer to Shadowrun, Google beats the government.
Well, yeah.
Really handily.
I mean,
It's
hey
like-
man, look, the Earth rang like a bell a while back. We got some freaky shit going on in California. We got an uprising of witches. Look, man, for all we know, the sixth world is coming about. For all we know, the dragons will rise again.
Weird radio signals in space.
Yeah, for all we know, dragons will rise again, the types will descend from the planets, and World War 76 will arrive.
Look,
I
all I'm
like
saying
that we
is,
somehow avoided 73 through 75.
no, they'll just be little minor affairs where all of us tell Russia to stop being a dick.
Yeah, we just missed all the other wars. Don't worry about that.
That hits a little bit closer than home than I would like it to.
Yes, I'm aware.
Wait, which part?
The other 72 wars being the world telling Russia to please stop and calm yourself.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Vladimir Putin's reincarnated severed head. Please stop. We've done this 17 times now.
This is the 5th Necronomicon we have burned!
Kindly
how do we burn an ebook? Fuck if I know.
You have to gather up all the Amazon Kindles in the world, and then, with a single lock of Jeff Bezos' hair, ignite them.
Oh, okay then. It's getting weird.
Sneaky asked how you burned an ebook.
But yeah, so anyway, Europe's burning, and I find that hilarious. And let's get back to this shit Harry Potter story.
Okay, it's not like America hasn't been consistently on fire.
Okay, well, at least we're not literally... Okay, aside from California, we aren't literally on fire.
You seem to be forgetting states with natural gas pipelines.
We don't talk about that.
Do I need to remind you of the numerous times Columbus, Ohio has had fire burst out from its sewers?
Look, we don't talk about Ohio, okay?
Do I need to remind you about the numerous times New Jersey has caught fire?
Look, those were intentional.
That does not make it statistically better.
Anyway, so he's gonna build an igloo to save himself, and so then he waves his wand around and says "Igloois," and an igloo takes shape.
Doesn't he have, like... look, apparently the wizards just vanished their fecal matter, so I'm sure they had a spell for warming them.
Oh, probably. Pretty sure they did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a warming charm. Like, canonically, too.
Like, I refuse to believe that there wasn't some... If nothing else, there wasn't some cranky old professor at Hogwarts who was like, I'm tired of being cold. I'm gonna make a charm to warm me.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think it was used by... Yeah, no, well, I thought it was used by, Wood on Harry in book 3. Because there was a storm outside or whatever. Wingardium Hotterium.
Don't think that's how that works.
Fetus deletus.
Not that again.
Warming charms are extensively used by fandom. I mean, I'm not surprised they are. Like, it would make sense. I can make an object float. I can instantly rip out your soul. I can shoot explosions. I can stun you. I can make you awake. I can make you sleepy. I can control your brain. Can you make me a little bit warmer? No.
If you want to get really technical about it, you could just use the explosion spell a lot in a really small amount.
Charms are the Harry Potter equivalent of sealing, aren't they? Like, you can do anything if you just think about it.
Runes are the equivalent of sealing. Charms are just, like, anything. Because it's fucking magic. Coldest Evanesso! I delete the cold! Anyway. So anyway, he made an igloo, and then he gathered sticks in the snow to make a fire, because he wasn't stupid, and he knew not to start a fire in the snow with only magic to fuel it. Okay.
Why would you not do that?
And so he made a pit, and he made the fire inside the igloo, and then he turned his boots into spiked boots, and then he conjured a set with his wand. He rests in front of the fire and stares at the flames with an unblinking gaze. Do you wish to kindle the bonfire?
I don't think he understands. See, and this is the part where anyone who knows anything about science is like, oh, Harry Potter's now dead. Because he started a fire in a small enclosed space below sea level. Well, below earth level. Because that's how igloos work, because you dig them out. So guess what that fire's gonna burn up the majority of?
Well, no, what you do is you put a hole in the top of the igloo. And the hot air rushing out is supposed to prevent the cold air from rushing in.
Yes, that is how it's supposed to work. If he didn't put the hole, though, he did fuck up.
Yeah. He did fuck it up.
And I'm saying there's no mention of a hole, which means this Harry Potter's dead.
What you also have to do is, for that, is make sure the entrance is actually on a ledge below where you're resting and where the fire is, so the cold air pools at the entrance. Oxygen. Yes. It's gonna eat all your oxygen, Harry. And he goes through his bag and finds a bunch of meat that Hermione for some reason gave him. And boy, isn't she a klutz in the kitchen. And now he's sitting here wondering what he got into. Hey, look, on the bright side, Harry, you didn't end up in the Dark Souls verse. Primitive technology wants to know your location. Harry awakes with a start. He hadn't realized he had fallen asleep, but he could see the sunlight creeping in through the cracks in his igloo.
Alright, that Harry Potter's dead.
Yeah,
no idea how to build an igloo.
That's a dead fucking Harry Potter. He quickly went...
In addition to his fire having gone completely out.
Because, I mean, what you're supposed to do is you're also supposed to take powdered snow after you make the snow bricks, and you're supposed to fill in the cracks. So, only entrance for...
And if you actually do correctly build a fire, it will actually make your igloo pretty much unbreakable.
Yeah, because it melts the snow and then the snow freezes.
I would say conventional means it.
Blah, 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 blah. Works the kinks out of his body. And then he, in his relief, spots something he forgot. His gold pouch. He remembers the time when he emptied all of the money ever in all of the vaults he had access to, and he chuckles at his imagination as everyone realizes there's no more money. Priceless. Harry waves his wand and the igloo explodes. He quickly puts his boots on, and the moment he was ready, he walks through the thick forest, pausing
Also,
mid-step.
so first of all, here's the problem with Harry using gold coins from his thing, right? It is a medieval setting, So using gold coins from a place no one's ever heard of, that's fine. They will take the gold value, the gold weight of his coin. And in fact, given the size of Westeros' coins versus the size of the canonical galleon, Harry's filthy stinking rich.
Yeah.
To a hilariously absurd degree. Like, I don't think it's possible to cause economic crisis in the medieval times. Harry Potter can.
Yes.
Like, Harry Potter can crash the economy. Because his gold will be so much better than everyone else's gold. And the massive influx of gold will actually manage to cause inflation in a medieval nation. Good job, author. But here's the thing. Because of what Harry Potter can do, he doesn't need a gold pouch. He doesn't. Like, even when we just talked about use a stunner or a vodka davra on an animal to kill it and get a perfect pelt, that alone makes him absurdly wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Just go into a town and he doesn't even have to develop the ability to skin them himself. He could just go to a tanner and go, hey, here are 8 perfectly preserved rabbits. Nothing wrong. I killed them with my mind. Or, he won't say that, but like I killed them.
I shouted them to death.
Like I broke the skull with a rock or something. I figured out a way to break their skulls almost perfectly with a sling that results in 0 damage.
Or I set up rabbit traps because that also.
Yeah, rabbit trap. Like there's 1,000 things he can do to have a near infinite supply of money.
Yeah. Anyway.
That a clever author could exploit. But this isn't one of them.
And Harry realizes something important. He stops and put a hand on his face. And there were no glasses. He could clearly see. It was completely unexpected, but he was thankful nonetheless. Maybe because the author didn't want to deal with Harry having glasses.
Which is funny, because multiple people in Westeros have glasses.
Harry almost leaped backward when his vision shoot forward. He could clearly see the snow he was deposited on top of a tree, which was 200 yards away. He looked up, and again his vision zoomed in on some bird flying in the air. This was a first for him, but damn, it was amazing. He's got the fucking sharing again. Apparently, he's got eagle eyes where he can literally see in pixel perfect clarity 200 yards away. Yeah, he face-palmed himself so hard, his eyes are God. Zoom and enhance! Zoom and enhance! Now reflect the image. Now re-render it backwards. Enhance it! Enhance it! Enhance it! Sir, it's a pixel! I know.
And from this pixel, we've gleaned that they have a mole, a barely removed mole, almost perfectly removed, but we know it existed, so we can set our supercomputer to scan.
You see, if you look at the shadow in this direction, you can see the discoloration on the skin. Now add God rays in this direction, and you can see that the surgery was recent. And if you enhance it more, you can see the marks the scalpel made, in which we can trace to the scalpel that the surgeon used to trace who bought the surgery. CSI, Special Victims Unit. No, dude, I fucking hate that show. The stupidest fucking show. My favorite part is the bottom right here. So anyway, sudden shout causes him to look over, and he sees a bunch of people approaching him with a white flag on a wolf head. Oh man, my luck isn't that great after all. They surrounded Harry, and he made sure he didn't make any sudden movements. Author's note. Made some changes. This is a rewrite. took out the Dragonborn ritual, as I have decided to not have Harry turn into a dragon. Yeah, exactly. The Special Victims Unit episode on Gamergate is just... I despise the entire franchise from that. So yeah, we're pretty much done, so let's talk for the next 2 minutes about whatever. Anyone have any questions for us? I know it was only like an hour long session today, but like... That's what happens when... Oh, by the way, so the reason why I was late today wasn't because of snow. So I'm going out to my car, right? And this lady calls me over to her car. I'm like, oh man, is this like she's gonna shoot me or some shit? So I walk over to her car and she's like, can you help me? I was like, maybe? You know, I'm still wearing my security outfit. And she's like, oh, well, you see, I lost my shoe. Do you have any shoes I can use? I'm like, I mean, I guess I can go back inside and check. So I go back inside to Lost and Found. I go through it and I'm like, no shoes here. And so, you know, I call my boss because this is weird, and I'm like, yo, boss, can I access the older Lost and Found? You know, anything older than 6 months gets put into a special location. And he's
I got a lady asking for shoes?
Yeah, and he's like, oh, what's up? I was like, I got this lady that says she apparently lost her shoes on the drive over. And she's like, what? I'm like, yeah, she apparently lost her shoes while she was driving here to work. And he was like, what the fuck?
How?
I was just like, I don't know. It's like, okay, well, you know, get her name and her employee ID. And I was like, okay. You got it, boss man. Yeah, she somehow, in the middle of driving over to her work location...
Okay, but how did
lost
that
her
make
shoes.
you almost an hour late?
Because this happened as I was walking out to leave.
Right, but I'm asking, how long does it take to go, we don't got no shoes?
Well, first I had to go back inside and notify the desk. And then I had to go through Lost and Found. And then I had to walk back outside to her car. And then I had to talk to my boss. And then I talked to her again. And then I could actually leave. And then I took a shower.
You were still punched in for all this, right?
No. Cannon,
Well.
am I a joke to you? Basically. There's another episode they made about otakus a few years ago. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, Calvin, no, there's one thing, like, losing your shoes because you have multiple pairs, and you put one away because you weren't using it at the time, and then, like, you needed them for an occasion, and you're like, oh shit, where the fuck my shoes go? And then there's, like, I'm driving to my job, looks down at feet, oh no, what happened to my shoes? One's understandable. The other's just... what even?
Like, was it both shoes? One shoe? Was she, like, standing outside on the snow? I don't understand.
No, she was just in her car without shoes. He gets used to it. But anyway, so I know we haven't talked about Ruby in a while on this lovely stream of ours. And since we are approaching the climax of this season, which is apparently a shitty robot fight and Adam showing back up again.
With any luck, there's only like an episode and a half left of this fucking season.
Yeah, like I said, we are reaching the climax of this season, either in 2 episodes, or maybe there's 2 episodes and an epilogue-ish episode, or maybe there's 14 episodes and we're like, I don't know where it's going anymore. I don't know what exactly is supposed to be the message of RWBY anymore. I don't know what the theme of RWBY is supposed to be anymore. Like, Red vs. Blue. It's a comedy sketch that evolved, like, very slowly into a plot that was actually kind of interesting. And then I stopped watching it, but, when I stopped watching it, it was actually at least an interesting plot that still had the comedy. RWBY was supposed to, by Monty's dream, just be a really awesome fighting anime thing with some generic hero plot and some really cool monsters for them to fight.
I was gonna say, insert anime, blah blah blah, Nakama.
Well, I mean, it wasn't even, like, season 1 and 2 wasn't even the power of friendship. It was literally these children who are...
The power of 50 caliber sniper rifle.
Yeah,
shotgun.
It was literally the power of 8 gauge and 50 cal.
Okay, why does that sound like the world's greatest Saturday morning cartoon?
8 gauge and 50 cal?
Look, they sound like the best Transformers that never got a toy.
No, it sort of sounds like a buddy cop sort of cartoon. Where, like, instead of cops, they're mercenaries.
I hear you. Also, I want to say, I watched Bumblebee. Really good movie, actually.
Yeah? Huh.
Like, the single biggest problem from the other Transformers movies, where you have no idea what's going on in any of the action scenes, they fixed it. Because all of the everybody's color-coded, but even more than that, they slowed everything down so you can actually tell what's going on. Like, there's a scene where Bumblebee picks up a girder and baseball bats someone in the face, right?
Okay.
And they did something the Transformers movies never done before. They just sat on the shot while Bumblebee baseball batted a guy. There weren't any cuts. It was just, he picks up the girder, he pulls back the girder, he swings the girder. And that's all just one unbroken shot.
Oh. Nice. What's the best story we've covered on the show? That would have to be that Mass Effect story.
Which one?
Remember the one where it was supposed to be like the prologue of the story that we read, was the Ganger Shepherd backstory?
Yeah, the romance one.
I don't know if it was romance. All I remember it was like actually really well written.
Wasn't that the one where the author's like she's gonna hook up with Thane?
Oh, it might have been, yeah.
Because I still read that from time to time.
Really, do you?
Like like every once in a while I'll pop in and be like, yeah, what's going on here?
Oh, is it still good?
I mean, it's okay. I
Yeah.
read like one chapter a month, maybe.
Yeah, no, it wasn't bad. And that was probably the quote unquote best story we've encountered here.
Well, and there's been 2 or 3 stories that there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. They
We just didn't
weren't
like
for
them. Yeah.
So those deserve like honorable mentions because they're perfectly fine. They just weren't our.
Well, the Warcraft 3 Familiar of Zero fanfic, that was never covered on the stream, but it's called The Acolyte of Zero. It's by Shade Knight. It's actually really fucking funny. Definitely recommend that one. That was actually really funny. Game mechanics were included in the summoning. Generally, if you just want good fics to read, I have a nice smattering of around 1,000 favorited on my profile, which is in the panels down below. So you can always do that, or you can ping Zeke's for his Flipper app that he is constantly updating. That gives you recommendations based off what you've favorited on your profile. No, that is the unfortunate thing with covering fics that come hot off the press of front page, is that 99.99% of them tend to be absolute garbage. If you don't cultivate your search history, you're gonna have a bad time finding good fic on fanfiction.net. But anyway, gonna wrap that up. Tuesday is going to be. I guess this is just how my schedule is now. Is Tuesdays is going to be.
Real quick, Pedro asked what it's called.
I told him Acolyte of Zero.
No. I think he was asking about the Mass Effect one. Oh, hold on. I have it. Let me...
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, what's happening from now on for the next couple weeks, I suppose, because that's, I don't know. As far as I'm aware, Tuesday is going to be another 7 o'clock stream.
Targeted interference. That's the one.
Yeah. Targeted interference.
Oh no. That's not the one. That's not the one with Ganger Shepherd.
Oh.
I like that Isley's probably never gonna live down those stories she's told.
Nope. Yeah, so anyways, I was saying, next Tuesday is going to be a 7 o'clock stream. Next Friday is likely going to be a 7:30
Okay, so it turns
stream.
out I was thinking of the wrong one. I was thinking of targeted interference, which is still perfectly fine, but it wasn't the Ganger Shepherd one.
Okay.
Or at least I don't think it is.
Well, I mean, in the end, we said it was a good story, but it wasn't really catching us because it just wasn't our thing. But yeah, so we'll see you all next time. Because, of course, there's always more, and it always gets worse.